How to design a sampling plan. One first answer to apply regulation and to respond to the request of UNIDO for planning stretching of capacity of environmental zone. Second answer is to reduce international release of POP, persistent organic pollutant. Make representative sampling plan about the PCB contamination. What is a representative polluted transformer? What is my stock of polluted transformer? Representative mass of all parts of transformer. What's a transformer? It's a high voltage electricity to transform on electricity for use. Steel electric oil is a part of 20% of the global mass and going through all the parts. For the sampling plan of each company and for each site, we need to answer the following question. How many transformers I have under my responsibility on one site, multi-site to ensure maintenance? How old are they? Who was the manufacturer? As Romain said previously, we can make a record. For the PCB inventory, we are working on this record. This record given identification of each transformer and their location. For the sampling plan of each company and for each site, we must answer about how we are the interest party. In our case, the interest party are UNIDO, of course, United Nations to implement and develop the Stockholm Convention, the Turkish government, Turkey industry and electricity provider and their staff, urban population, the sample qualified person, company staff, the lead manager and the technical officer. Approaching Schimmelk. Sampling plan is needed for each company and for each site. The goal of the testing program is to determine if the transformer contain PCB or not, and if they are PCB containing more than 50 ppm. Content is greater than 500 ppm on the other hand. The request types is less 50 ppm, non-contaminated transformer, green card. 50 ppm to 500 ppm, contaminate transformer, orange card. Upper than 500 ppm, strongly contaminate, red card. For the sampling plan of each company of each site, the characteristic and common support sampling, we should have solid waste. The common situation is to find a transformer after fire or explosion. We should identify each party like metal, steel, aluminum, copper, polluted wastewater with a mixture of foam and poured and fire extinguisher. The solid waste polluted by PCB, concrete, soil, vegetable. Very disparate scan item should be identified. The transformer piece, the metal making up the carcass, the transformer body with paper, copper and some rest. Separate limited area by the fire. The pollution support at oil and the fire products to disseminate like a foam and CO2. Solid contamination by PCB dispersion, land, plant, concrete. Scan items are very disparate. The transformer constituent, the land polluted by the fire in two perimeter to determine. Support of pollution are oil or products that let to the fire, form of CO2, metal making up the carcass, the body of the transformer with paper, copper and that left. The complexity is a 3D polluted area, obliged to define the patent area to sampling. We are coming back on the subject during the exercise. Transformer imagery is more simple. A transformer from 20 25 kilowatt ampere to 1000 kilowatt ampere have a weight from 250 to 1500 kilo, for a weight oil average of 54 to 120 with a density of 0.995 for the outside transformer. The oil weight is around 20% plus or minus for 2 of the total weight of the transformer. The table gives a quantity of dielectric for each type of transformer with the capacity of the transformer, the quantity in kilo, and the volume with a density of 1.56. Cabin transformer for 300 to 2,300 kilo for an oil weight from 70 to 500 kilo. The oil weight in the transformer, it is directly correlate with the weight which increase with the power. The whole weight is 20% plus minus 2% of the total weight of a transformer. For your site and your company, you must manage a sampling plan with the following issue: action plan in relation of each location, design the prevention plan for each location, name responsible people competent on electricity safety, name qualified sampling person qualified after the training and seminar, organize the sampling action in accordance with the activity, check the PPA for each person, check the list of each transformer for sampling, check the sampling kit with 2 bottles, one 100 millimeter and another 30 millimeters. Check the information paper for sampling and 1 stick per transformer and the same information for each sampling. Check the hazardous bins. Do the sampling. Check the sampling have the same number as the sticker on the transformer. Write the sampling record and put it in the plastic bag with the sampling bottle. Storage the client sampling for 2 years for the future double control closed room with air conditioning. Send the sampling to Shoemaker Brazil by postal carriage. The bottle should be transported on the trial as shown on the picture. We shall input on the website the first identification record for the transformer and the sampling. Shall receive after analysis the specific label, green, orange or red, to replace the sampling sticker. We're now making an exercise. Your manager asks you to make a sampling plan for the following area, name 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. How do you organize that? Generally, we are in a plenary box. We now organize 5 groups. Each group must find the solution for what is the objective of the sampling, what is the interest party, what is the type of sampling, what is the variability of the sampling, the scale, the representativity, and the statistic. This exercise, this type of answer. The land was written for blowing. It's more easy to make a sampling. Each part is a 3-meter part with a tablespoon equal 15 millimeter. 2 sampling are making in 2 bar in each 3 meters. You can show the picture, the method used. What is the objective of the sampling? It's to survey the internal operation of the site. What is the interest party? The company and the public authority. What are the type of sampling? Two people which 3 meters space are working on the area and pick up a tablespoon on earth. 2 sampling period, 10 sampling for each area, 2 sampling for one area, about 0.5 kilo to 1.5 kilo. What is the variability of sampling? Sampling measurement is made on 2 types of sampling, dry after 3 weeks and wet just after the sampling. What is the scale? The surface, global surface, it's 2 hectare. The scale is square meter per sampling. What is representativity? Total surface is 20,000 square meter, and the number of sampling is 2,200 sampling. That means around 22 square meter per sampling. What are the statistics? 10 sampling from 1.05 to 1.5 kilo for the earth and stone. 2 sampling period, 10 sampling for 2 for each area, 1 gas chromatography for each, sampling with water content, sampling after 3 weeks, dry sampling, in comparison with the method result. Today we are speaking about sampling, transport and storage. The subject is very precise. Please ask to the support of professionals. PCB content material are hazardous products. We should apply the handling and transport rules. It's mandatory to use multimodal dangerous goods form, or it's not covered by insurance. The rules of transportation are very different when we are using road, ADR, cover Europe and extend to Turkey and Russian Federation. For the ship, it's covered by the EMDG. Each ship system have a specific rule. For the train, it's RIT. For the plane, it's covered by EITA-DGR. What potential PCB means? For the sampling, before the analysis, we are not able to confirm if the sampling is contaminated or not. But we are working on a potential PCB and PCB is potential hazardous goods. We could have some suspicious information as transformer year of production, type of refrigerant. For the inventory, we're making some sampling, and all the sampling should be sent to Chibert-Cabrasia and some in France. All the national and international rules should be applied for this sampling. At first, we need to identify the sampling in the list of 9 hazardous clays. The list of 9 hazardous clays and the PCB is in this class, and class 9, and in this class is the number 28. For class 9 material or sampling, we shall use an appropriate packaging, following the type of material, by example 30 mm bottle, or a transformer, following the risk, low or large, and the method of transport. Following the method of transport and handling involved. What are the requirements? We must keep the content intact. We must prevent contact with other goods. What type to do packaging should be used? For liquid, we are using sealing drum. For solid, open to drum. For the capacity, water tank, pallet, metallic casting. And catch basin for drainage transformer with absorber. In the street, we should cover the track to limit the risk of cross contamination, not like we show in the picture. In the case of air transport, we apply the IATA rules. Each bottle 30 mm content is in packaging of 10 bottles maximum. Each bottle in with an absorbent paper 1.1 volume. Each patch should be made by an accredited company. UN defines the category of risk to put on the external packaging. X is the greatest danger goods. Medium risk is shown by the letter Y, and the low danger is covered by the letter Z. For movement of PCB polyurethane mineral oil above 50 mm on using notice category 3. Petrol product not always specify. Sea transport EMDG code 3375. Marine pollutant. Flash point is 61 degree centigrade. Packing group 3. Class risk class 9. What are you supposed to do for sampling transport? First, prepare the sampling box with absorbent paper. Second, ensure the identification sticker is in place and the sampling record complete. Third, put each bottle in absorbent paper. 4. Each bottle should be separate in a plastic bag. 5. Fill the box without empty space with newspaper or other similar paper. 6. Close the pack and stick the correct label, by example, IDA label, or for C label, EMDH label. 7. For the international transportation, use an accredited packing marker company. 8. Ask professional transporter for a limited sampling quantity. In the case of PCB content transportation or international transport, you must have a packing certificate, must be drawn by an accredited control company. Certificate must confirm verification of state of the container, valid of the CSC data place, tracking of applicants, labeling, packing list, total weights of container and waste of hazardous material. We can show a CSC data plate. The packing list should show the number, the weight, and the type of all the applicants and package per container. Declaration of dangerous goods. You must store all your sampling for 2 years. You must keep the identification code for each sampling, number of each transformer, and the verification code of identification of sampling, by example, TR 0035 for verification or second control. A specific room should be under safety rule should be defined. Fire protection, unauthorized access forbidden. Also, information should be included in the site safety plan. You can see a type of storage with a drawer in cabinet. This storage is enough to ensure safety storage for oil sampling. What's needed for accident during sampling? All the situations be covered by the prevention plan. 2 cases: 1 accident or an emergency situation during the sampling action. Second, an accident is directly in a relation with the sampling itself. First case, the sampling or emergency situation is not relative to the sampling itself. First, A. Stop the sampling action. B. Ensure the place is not risky. Close the tanks if it's opened. C. move to this meeting point in concordance with the emergency procedure and prevention plan. Second case, an accident is directly in relation with the sampling itself. The prevention plan gives you the list of risks around the sampling place. A. Stop the sampling immediately. Second, B. Give alert by the usual method, internal phone soon signal. C. In case of cold accident, leakage oil, use the safety material as absorbent paper, absorbent sand, or other absorbent in the pollution kit to limit the area of pollution. D. Ask order for the safety management. E. In case of identify PCB content, label orange or red, the manager should inform the environmental health authority about the accident. How to read a sampling report? We have three types of report. If the analysis by L2000DX analyzer confirms the content is less 50 ppm, the label is green. More 50 ppm, less 500 ppm, its label is orange. More than 500 ppm, label is red. The report with a green label is only a screening test report. The analysis is not complete and not covered by ISO 17025 accreditation. With identify the number, sampling number, the date, the name of the transformer owner company, the laboratory in charge of the sampling, and the name of the subcontractor, Shemek Abezer, and Mr. Homeralak. ISO 17025 requirement, we need to declare the subcontractor, and we need to audit it. The identification of the sampling, the identification of the transformer to ensure the identification is unique, characteristic of the transformer, identification of the sampling, the number of the sampling, by example TR 0235, the sampling method, like dielectric oil EAC 61175, characteristic of the oil sampling in the tank, top cap, electric terminal, lower valve. The sampling plan by the client, the report refers only to the sampling test in the state of which he arrived at the Shemek Abezer laboratory. By Shemek by approaching Shemek, we attach the sampling plan. The result, the method is EPA SW 846, method 9079, a screening test method for polychlorine biphenyl, PCB. The PCB content is less than 50 ppm. Chlorine research method lead to note the absence or less of 50 ppm and allowing to the SEM with a green label. Authorized sign, generally we are using electronic authorized sign. If the label is orange or red, we should have complete analysis with a specific part about the beginning of the report is the same, but the title is test analysis report, not screening report as before. The date is a test of analysis is given because the date is different for the sampling. A sampling report, date of report, final date report. The level of PCB, the level of PCT, the level of 3 PCT-BT. The value expressed in 1 ppm. The detection limit is the level of confidence of gas chromatography cannot be less than 2 ppm. And the result is the sum of the 3 results. Opinion and interpretation. The PCB rate is lower than 50 ppm. In this case, the analyzer have identified just chlorine. The inlet is not polluted by PCB following the regulation. The PCB rate is between 50 ppm and 500 ppm. The inlet is polluted by the PCB but can remain in operation until 2028. The PCB rate is rated at 500 ppm. The transformer must be removed in order to be decontaminated. The analysis should be conducted under COFRAC accreditation in concordance with the ISO 17025 standard. The video are performed by Jean Hetzel for the English version, Lean Manager, Omer Halak, Turkish translation and Turkish version, with the support of Lassen El Bouai.